Alright, I just want to go ahead and put out this video real quick. I should have put this out earlier. I'm kind of pissed that I didn't do it. But first of all, I want to play this clip for you of Obama. I think it's funny that Shinseki is forced to resign, um, and you have Obama who has boasted all these wonderful claims that he's done for the veterans, and I can be the first to tell you that the VA has changed for the better of themselves. Can't say that it's necessarily helped the veterans out 100%. There's a lot of unnecessary long waiting times to be seen. And for you to be seen right away, you'd have to travel to one of the regional centers, which for a lot of veterans, especially older veterans, it's a little bit of a hassle to get, transportation that may be 60 miles or more away from their location, when they're used to just going to their local small hometown clinic. So if the small clinics are dropping the ball, it's really it really starts there. We have to fix these small clinics. They need to be staffed with more doctors. I know personally the VA clinic that I go to right here in Vineland, New Jersey. I believe we only have one doctor. It's the same doctor I've been seeing there for years. I've never even, I think I've seen one other doctor there when he was on vacation. But I know there's at least a few hundred patients that go to that VA. Nothing shy of that. We have a high veteran population in this area. And for there to only be one doctor, when I call to make an appointment, they always tell me 30 days or more. That's a problem. That's a big problem when you have to wait 30 days or more to be seen by a doctor. So, um, I watch as, Obama touts how well he's doing with the VA, and I can assure you that's not happening. Now, I will say once you are seeing the level of service, it's good service, it's quality service. I'm happy with the level of service once you are seen. It's just that the long wait times, I believe, it does something as far as health wise. If you're forced to wait a long time, a lot of issues that can be prevented, and they call the early detection phases, they can't be prevented because the small clinics are understaffed. So it's broken, it needs to be fixed, and listen to these broken promises.
Whenever I see our best and bravest young men and women signing up to serve today, I think about him. They're signing up at a time when the dangers we face are great. And when they finally return home, when the guns fall silent, and the cameras are turned off, they deserve the same commitment from their government that my grandparents received. That's why I sought out a seat on the Veterans Affairs Committee when I arrived in the Senate, so I could fight to serve our veterans as well as they have served us. I led a bipartisan effort to improve outpatient facilities at places like Walter Reed, because recovering troops should go to the front of the line and they shouldn't have to fight to get there. We passed laws to give family members health care and a year of job protection so they never have to choose between caring for a loved one and keeping a job. And I fought to make sure that the claims of disabled veterans were heard fairly. But there's so much more we need to do to keep our sacred trust with the men and women who serve. That's why, as president, I will build a 21st century VA that gives every service member electronic copies of medical and service records upon discharge, fully funds VA healthcare, adds more vet centers, and passes on-time budgets. No more red tape, no more shortfalls, no more delays. We will stand up against proposals to ration care and reject the idea that the VA should only treat combat wounds. And we'll have a simple principle for veterans sleeping on our streets: zero tolerance. I will build on the work I did in the Senate to confront as well the two signature injuries of the war in Iraq and Afghanistan: post-traumatic stress disorder and traumatic brain injury. And when our loved ones return home, it's time we offered them the same commitment we offered my grandfather's generation.
I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, that I've made a claim. I've done an appeal to my claim, and now I literally have to get a lawyer, or I should say a VA rep to help me out with my claim, and I'm in the process of doing that now. Um, Everything that I have filed has been factual with the VA, and still I've been denied. I won't say what my medical conditions are, it's my personal business, but I will tell you that yes, there is a lot of red tape. Yes, the waiting times are enormous. Um, and it's just the way that it's been. It's the way that it's always been. Nothing has really changed in that regards. And that's where it's kind of disappointing, because if you see things shift over into the digital paradigm, you would think that things would be cut down drastically. Wait times, the time that a patient is in and out. I mean, it should just be a high turnover rate. It should be easy for a couple doctors to work a local clinic, but you're seeing almost catastrophic failure in the whole system across the board. Something has to be done about it. It's really sad. And for them to oust General Shinseki the way they did, I mean, I won't get into it, but I've met the guy before. When I was in the military, I've met him before. He's a nice guy. Let me be honest with you. He's a nice guy. If you look, just Google who Eric Shinseki is, and you will find out he has accomplishments as long as your sleeves. I promise you. The guy is highly, highly decorated. He's well more decorated than Obama could ever wish to be in his life. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to be honest about it. And for this guy to be forced to resign, and for Obama not to support this guy and say, hey, wait a second, this veteran right here, this veteran is trying to make a difference. When he came in with an idea of bringing a black beret and all this kind of stuff, back when he was a general. And he always wanted to motivate the troops to feel more of an elite status, to feel better, to feel like the best in the world. So he has always had a love for troops. To oust that guy and to not have his back, and to literally hang him out to dry in front of all the other veterans, I can't think of anything colder. I can't think of anything more callous. And then literally, I mean, you have some reports popping up now where they're slamming Brian Williams from NBC, which I actually watch NBC sometimes, for literally not asking about the VA scandal and his coverage with the president over the past holiday. So, you have the media, obviously. I mean, they were pounding this situation with the VA, and the fact that Shinseki should be asked to resign and step down, and politicians came out saying he should resign and step down, and there was just a weird movement that came out of nowhere if this guy should resign and step down. And I'm like, why? Why should he resign and step down? I understand that the VA's messed up, but this is nothing new. This guy right here has made enormous claims that he's going to fix our VA and that we wouldn't have wait times. Those were his direct words. I didn't say them, he said them. But yet we do. But yet the guy who's a decorated veteran gets fired. Does anybody see what's wrong with that? Does anybody see how stupid that sounds? Come on. That's why Brian Williams didn't ask him. Because if you bring it up, then you got to talk about it. What they were counting on is the American public to stay asleep and to not really think about it. No, there's some keen people out there watching, and they're thinking about it, and they're especially watching Obama. Everyone hates me because, I'm not an Obama fan. I don't care. You can hate me for it. It's okay. But at the end of the day, I'm a fan of what's right and what's wrong. And if you look at facts and information, and you don't look from a Democratic or a Republican view, just look at facts and information and what's right and what's wrong for you and your family and for your life, and you'll see why there's such a dislike for this man. You guys got to wake up. This guy just sent one of our top veterans out to slaughter, didn't have his back, didn't back him up from the media onslaught. As a matter of fact, he egged it on. And you guys just let it happen. Everybody just let it ride. They let it roll. They didn't do their research on Eric Shinseki. Of course he's going to buckle under that kind of pressure. Man, that man has a family and he's getting older. He might as well retire and go enjoy his life while he still has a little bit of enjoyment that he can get out of life and a little bit of honor and dignity. Because the way that this man backed him up, oh no. I guarantee if you walked up to Shinseki right now and you asked him, hey, how did the commander-in-chief do in backing you up? Shinseki's going to tell you, he didn't do anything for me. He did nothing for me. He let me fall. He left me out in the battlefield. He left me by myself. And that's not the case. These are not all Shinseki's policies. This man is clearly taking the good points of the VA and saying he's responsible for that. But yet, he takes no part in anything bad about the VA except that he is the sole one that's responsible for reshaping it and putting this VA back into a good standing, which it's not. And when it's discovered that it still isn't, you oust the other guy who is the upstanding veteran. Yes, I'm saying it again. It's strange and it needs to be repeated. People need to wake up. These media tricks are just freaking jokes. They're jokes, and if you can't see that by now, come on, you're looped into their system. Gotta wake up. You gotta wake up. If you can't see that a top veteran just got ousted and this man let him fall, I don't know what to tell you. So at the end of the day, good people are waking up and they're realizing, wait a second, hold on. Have a whole interview and then not even talk to the president about it. And if these numbers are real, this is a damn shame. I'm just going to say it. If these numbers are real, this is a damn shame. What's going on? VA scandal coverage gone. Oh, we got Shinseki out of the way. Obama don't want to talk about it no more. It's still broke. If I do a whole segment starting to cover the VA, then I'll have a lot of hate mail and people will be pissed at me. So I'm just going to do this one video and say, Shinseki, I got his back. He's a good dude. Like I said, I met him once. My general actually worked for him, and I met him once that way. But at the end of the day, he's a good dude. Period. That's all you can say about him. You go do the research. I don't have to sit here and vouch for the guy. Who cares that I met him? Go do the research yourself. Go see who Eric Shinseki is. And you're going to see him like, what the heck? Wait, hold on. How did this guy get fired? This guy is the one touting that he's the one that's fixing everything. Not Shinseki. Shinseki was appointed by this guy. You guys don't realize how this works. I do. I was in the military. I remember when the E6 took my very good high accommodation award for work that he didn't take 10 minutes to do. Not even 10 minutes to do. Work that predates Google. So I remember how that feels, and I will tell you what, I can only sympathize with Shinseki right now on how that feels, because I remember being cheated out of something before, and he's being cheated in this situation. He's being cheated. He's done good things throughout his career. He has not done what they're saying he's done in the media. He's not single-handedly responsible for this. This is bad policies passed down to him, forcing situations to happen and occur. This guy at the top is responsible for it, but yet he lets his other guy take the downfall without helping the veteran, and he did it all in front of everyone's eyes and no one cared. That's the whole freaking point. Alright, I'm not even going to advertise my website. You can go to my YouTube and subscribe to that. And follow me on Twitter, Homegrown Sin. At the end of the day, this is a crying shame. Somebody needs to get fired for this crap. Somebody needs to impeach this guy.